of post-colonial nation-making. As he is unable to be present today, he has recorded his presentation, which we will now play. Hold on a moment. Yeah.
It's a bit stuck.
Hello, hello. Is the technician member here?
Salam sejahtera everyone. I would like to begin by conveying my gratitude to Dr. Shantini Pillay and her team of organizers for this much needed symposium. My apologies for being unable to attend, but I do hope this pre-recorded presentation will be a useful contribution to this topic. This presentation hopes to conceptualize how Malaysian popular music serves as a potent space for the flourishing of the nation's cultural diversity. I also hope to highlight, through this brief overview of Malaysian popular music, the processes of national integration and the moments of unity that are present in the works of our local artists and groups. In this presentation of 3 parts, I will start by introducing the concept of how music plays an integral role in the collective flourishing of a given society. Next, I will provide highlights of the diversity of Malaysian artists and groups that have achieved wide appeal in the country since the nation's independence. Finally, I provide some specific cases of moments of unity in Malaysian popular music. In order to understand the contribution of music to collective human flourishing, I refer to Hesmond Delcher's book titled Why Music Matters, that highlights how music might valuably enhance human interactions and our ability to live with and towards others, to recognize them, and to show concern for them. Further, he highlights the dualistic functions and experience of music as intimate and social, private and public. Poignantly, it is observed that music represents a remarkable meeting point of intimate and social realms. It provides a basis of self-identity, this is who I am, this is who I'm not, and collective identity, this is who we are, this is who we're not, often in the same moment. All cultural products have this potential, yet music's seemingly special link to emotions and feelings makes it an especially powerful site for the bringing together of private and public experience. So how diverse is Malaysian music? It is obviously a given that with the numerous amount of languages spoken in the country, there must be a variety of languages sung and heard in our music. However, despite the divisions in our ethno-linguistic music markets, whereby Malay music is mostly produced and consumed locally, while Mandarin, Tamil, and English music may be obtained from overseas producers, Malaysians have always found a diversity of means to foster inter-ethnic exchange and collaboration in our music. Let's start with the big kahuna of Malaysian music, P. Ramlee. While mainly a Malay language entertainer, his popular appeal across ethnicities, no less speaking during an intense period of nation building, has made him and his works iconic of Malaysian diversity in the arts. My recent book published this year observes a few aspects of musical diversity in P. Ramlee's music. While he may be regarded a potent ethno-nationalist icon by Malay nationalists, old and new, an examination of his music reveals a diversity of musical styles and influences sourced in local regional traditions as well as the global musical trends of the 1950s and 1960s. These cosmopolitan aesthetics also appeal to Malaysian citizens' collective nostalgia of the intimate sentiments expressed during the era of Malaysian independence. During the same period, of equal musical importance was P. Ramlee's partner Saloma. Aside from dominating the Malay music scene as a professional singer, she would also perform in a variety of languages including English and Mandarin. This EP recording is further interesting because it features popular Chinese songs adapted with Malay lyrics. Also juxtaposed here is the cross-ethnic representation of dress in the form of kebaya on the left and cheongsam on the right. The rise of Malay rock and roll in the mid-1960s, known as Pop Ye Ye, also featured a boom of local bands referred to as Kumpulan Gitar Rancak, or Kugiran for short. Many Singaporean bands, such as The Swallows, were consumed by Malaysian listeners. This extremely popular band, with their hit single La Obe, is particularly interesting because they sing their songs in a subset of Malay dialects called Bawianese. They are also a pertinent reminder of the ethnic diversity that complicates Malay identity in the region. Dato Andre Goh is an ethnic Chinese singer that specialized in singing traditional Malay songs. Perhaps it was the novelty of being Chinese that drove his successful image among the Malay market. However, he provides the reminder that the hybrid Baba Nyonya community in Malaysia are intimately linked to local Malay practices. This ethnic Punjabi singer is an icon of Malay pop music in the 1970s, who has also collaborated with other iconic ethnic Malay artists such as Sharifah Aini, Sarina Hashim, and Uji Rashid. Arguably, there is no other band as important to Malaysian popular culture as the Alley Cats. Along with their frontman's iconic afro haircuts, the band consisted of Indian and Chinese musicians and sang some of the most popular Malay songs. However, their inter-ethnic collaboration also extends to the Malay songwriters and lyricists that penned their number one hits. With the exception of East Malaysian involvement, this band perhaps provides an ideal vision of at least a peninsular Malaysian ethnic cohesion in music. With Malaysia's Queen of Jazz, we start to see the fruits of Malaysian diversity achieving recognition beyond our borders. Singing in both Malay and English, Sheila Majid achieved global appeal with our regional neighbors Indonesia and Japan. This 1990s album that was a tribute to P. Ramlee was remastered and reissued as a vinyl LP with special editions pressed and sold in Japan this year. Local record shops sold out their pre-orders in record time. OAG, also known as All Automatic Garbage. The mid to late 1990s saw an interesting turn in the Malaysian music industry. This independent alternative rock group was the first band to achieve radio and market success with an original English song called 60s TV. When the band started in 1994, they comprised of Chinese and Malay band members. Positive Tone, the same label that produced OAG, would go on to develop more interesting multi-ethnic and multilingual acts. I was a huge fan of this group in the late 1990s. This rap group, comprising of Indian and Chinese members, released songs in English, Malay, Tamil, and Cantonese. For more on Poetic Ammo, I strongly recommend an important article by the symposium organizer, Dr. Shantini Pillay herself, which is on multilingual and multicultural expressions in Malaysian popular music. Here's a brief snapshot of her article, which you can find in Kajian Malaysia. Highly recommended. Now, regardless if you are Muslim or not, every Malaysian is aware of the huge local and global success achieved by Raihan. Interestingly, perhaps due to the ubiquity of their songs circulating on radio and national television in the 1990s, it is not difficult to find non-Muslim Malaysians who are familiar with their catchy melodies and rhythms. This iconic album and its hit song Hijau featured the vocal prowess of Zainal Abidin, supported by a multi-ethnic team of supporting musicians. The album's producer, Roslan Aziz, led a team of industry giants Mac Chu, Jenny Chin, Michael Virpan, Steve Thornton, Fauzi Marzuki, Zahid Ahmad, and Amir Yusof. Importantly, aside from being a song that many say changed the Malaysian music industry, Zainal was quoted recently by The Star to say that the album was not intended to be a Malay album but more so a Malaysian album. Past the 1990s, the indie singer-songwriter scene of the mid-2000s saw the rise of two soon-to-be international stars, going from bedroom indie singers to global stars. They appealed globally in their proficiency in English songwriting, while also highlighting strategically in different contexts their exotic appeal to a Western-dominated market. Interestingly, both artists have found ways to incorporate Malaysian cultural diversity into their brand identity for a global market. Z reclaims the Borneo identity when performing in Sarawak's Rainforest Festival, replete with headdress, as well as her guitarist's use of electric sape. Elements of her folk jazz background are blended with her Sarawakian aesthetic, both musically and viscerally. In this image, she performs at the 2012 Borneo Rainforest World Music Festival with a hybrid sape ukulele. Yuna, though, capitalizes on her modern, stylish hijab-wearing image. She does not bank on the conventional forms of sex appeal, yet her minority or non-white complexion and semi-dangerous Muslim identity also creates a sexualized allure for the universal mass media. Of course, in the US, she is seen as a brown minority and is even linked to African American identity. Her collaborations with African American artists Pharrell Williams and Usher are indicative, and her hits is very much a tribute to R&B icon Erykah Badu. Ironically, Miss Badu's 2012 performance in Malaysia was cancelled at the last minute because of a publicity photo that saw her sporting a tattoo of the word Allah in Arabic calligraphy. I would now like to draw attention to some specific cases of unity moments in Malaysian popular music. Since the 2000s, the Malaysian music industry has seen both a separation from and convergence back to the nation's early years. The current trend of hipsterism in indie music values the past as something that can be formulated into something new. Interestingly, this longing for a re-articulated past in contemporary terms has resulted in a return to nationalist sentiment among the current generation of music producers in Malaysia. Unsurprisingly, P. Ramlee has emerged as the anchor of this new indie nostalgia. This album started as a casual suggestion from its executive producer Adam Shairi Ramlee. It then mushroomed into an important compilation that highlighted the zeitgeist of Malaysian music in 2010. The Malaysian indie scene, unlike its counterparts in the US and UK, is aesthetically diverse. While Anglo American indie music is defined by a particular sonic style, Malaysian indie is stylistically porous and inclusive. This means that Malaysian indie includes a diverse range of artists and bands that include hard rock, folk, R&B, and hip hop styles. This tribute compilation and its various interpretations of P. Ramlee's works is a testament to such musical diversity. This nostalgia has also been exploited by multinational corporations seeking to brand local authenticity for their products. A Nescafe advertisement from 2015 features this Malaysian Chinese jazz duo of Eve Wong on the left and Billy Ho on the right, performing their viral hit rendition of P. Ramlee's famous song Getaran Jiwa. Like their hugely popular YouTube video, the Malaysian Nescafe campaign was equally successful, appealing to a sense of national unity among Malaysians that centered around P. Ramlee's music and Nescafe. And of course, the added novelty of an attractive Chinese woman singing in Malay. Just a year after that, one of Malaysia's most successful patriotic films was released. The Malaysian public was inspired to see a true story that focused on the nation's strengths in diversity. The story behind the film's award-winning theme song, Arina Cahaya, also mirrors the aspirations of the film's narrative. Malaysia's brightest music sparks, ZRV in the center, Alvin Wee on the left, and Rendra Zawawi on the right, collaborated on that song. Moreover, at the time, the three of them were based in Los Angeles, respectively thriving in their fields. Alvin and Rendra are both successful audio music engineers working for the US entertainment industry. In my research thus far, I have not found a proponent for national unity as explicit as the late Sudirman Arshad. In many ways, Sudirman's short-lived but illustrious music and entertainment career are emblematic of the importance of popular culture and music in advancing a notion of collective flourishing in Malaysian society. This is a picture of the hundreds of thousands of attendees of his free concert in Chowkit Road on the 14th of April 1986. This concert remains an unshakable landmark in Malaysian popular music history. How could one artist command such a presence and impact on Malaysians? Aside from his skills and dedication as an entertainer, I believe it was his personal commitment in his performances and songs to promote a patriotic idea of unity in diversity that allowed him to appeal across many class, religious, and ethnic barriers. In his public concerts, Sudirman would approach specific audience members and serenade them on stage. During his free concert tour, to promote his own brand of soft drinks called Sudi, he invited a Chinese woman named Lim Ayok to the stage. Before singing a Cantonese song for her, he made a short speech which reads as follows. To paraphrase in English, unlike the other countries that face all sorts of disasters and unrest, we need to be thankful for living in Malaysia. And in our state of harmony, we are able to learn and experience the customs and cultures of our diverse nation. Hence, with that in mind, I will sing this special song for Lim Ah Yok. At the same concert, Sudirman invites a young Indian Muslim woman named Maskia and proceeds to serenade her with a famous Tamil song, Puthiya Vanam, from a film that starred the famous actor MGR. In similar fashion, just before singing his serenade, he makes another speech about Malaysian diversity. To paraphrase in English again, this song is dedicated to all Malaysian citizens, regardless of ethnicity or religion. One of the messages of this song speaks of the need to live united as one family in God's great earth, without caring about our differences in nationality, color, class, or ancestry. To conclude, musical practices and productions in Malaysia solicit mass appeal through aesthetics and narratives that are cosmopolitan and modern. In addition,
These artistic works express a network of diverse identities in everyday life, be it in the national or global context. The humanitarian values of the implicit or explicit message of national unity found in Interpretasi, EB Duet and the Nescafe advertisement, and Sudirman's speeches are select cases of how music might contribute to the flourishing of a collective identity amidst ethnic, cultural, and religious diversity in Malaysia. The artist biographies and musical moments of unity presented here also reflect the inherent challenges, complexity, and uniqueness of Malaysia's cultural diversity. It is hoped that some of the points made in this presentation can be further discussed in this panel's proceeding dialogue about diversity, nationalism, and the performing arts in Malaysia. Thank you very much for your attention.
I'm afraid that's all the time we have. If you have any other burning questions that you did not manage to ask, please do approach the speaker after the session. Thank you all panelists for such an interesting sharing session. Let's give them a round of applause.